Okay, so we've jumped a stage here already. We've got the brake caliper off. That can sometimes be a little bit tricky because you've got an aluminium hub and you've got a steel bolt which goes into the aluminium hub, and sometimes you get a bit of corrosion. The secret is you need a 10mm Allen key, just a simple hex wrench. You can get a socket version as well. I would recommend you buy a very good quality branded one if you don't have one, because if you damage the cap screws trying to take the brake caliper off, there's no way of accessing that bolt apart from trying to drill it out or replacing the hub and the caliper, which can be several £100 if not beyond economical repair. So it's essential that the bolts are taken out cleanly with a good quality Allen key. You don't want to be rounding them off. So you've got 2 bolts in each caliper. You can see the holes here in the caliper, top and bottom, and they correspond through the back of the caliper, so the bolts go through in this elevation. So they're on the back end of the caliper bolting into the hub. What I would suggest is at the top of the hub you apply a little bit of penetrating oil a couple of hours before you start the work, top and bottom bolt, just to allow it to run into the bolt so it doesn't pick up on the threads as it pulls out through the aluminium hub. Before you undo them, there's a small bracket here which holds the brake pipe to the caliper and also to the hub. That's held in with a small 10mm screw. If you undo that one first of all, that takes all the pressure off the steel brake pipes which go into the caliper. So when you remove the caliper, you're not straining the brake pipes, risking breaking the brake pipes. Okay, the brake caliper is off now, and as you can see it's held up by a couple of cable ties around the road spring. What you don't want to do is have the brake caliper pulling down, straining the flexible hose here, ABS cable and the steel brake pipes, because if any of those get damaged you're into an added expense and inconvenience. And making brake pipes for these calipers can be quite tricky. So what we've done now is we've just polished off the top of the rust surface on the hub. You notice the car is supported on a jack stand in case anything moves. There's an axle stand underneath which you can't see as well. Always work on an axle stand, never just on the jack alone, because they're not reliable enough. So I've got this one here as an additional support in case anything goes wrong, and it will take the weight to the hub and stop me being pinched. Cleaning off the hub's quite simple. I've got a fibre disc on a rotary drill here. These are sort of a plastic base, they're quite abrasive, not good on paint, but they're very kind, they don't actually take any metal off the surface. It's a little bit noisy, so I'll just worm up a little bit quick. So very simple, takes the top off, takes all the surface rust off, leaves you a nice smooth polished finish. You can still see the colour in there, which is ideal paint surface really. Probably wear safety goggles using that tool as well, or if you're using a wire brush they can be a little bit more abrasive and you get small pieces of wire fling off, so be careful. Personal safety is obviously very important. Once you've gone all the way around the hub is free to spin, which is quite easy. Now we're in a position, just make sure everything's clean and dry, wipe off with a clean cloth and then apply some paint.